Daniel Sports Central, we go over a college football game preview and prediction on the Week 4 matchup between the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Texas A&M Aggies. Huge matchup for both these teams coming up here in Week 4. You got Arkansas still undefeated. They're 3-0 heading into this matchup, also ranked in the top 10. But, of course, Arkansas definitely had a scare last weekend. They beat Missouri State, but that game was way closer than expected. Missouri State led that game for a long time. But in the end, what really matters is that the Razorbacks won it. But they got a chance to prove that they are for real against Texas A&M this upcoming weekend. The Aggies, of course, took a stunning loss a couple of weeks ago to App State. But they bounced back against Miami last weekend. And definitely this is a crucial game for both these teams as we move forward in this 2022 season. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today, starting out with your team trends. Arkansas beat Missouri State 38-27. Way closer game than expected. Of course, Missouri State's head coach is Bobby Petrino, turns out. And if you may remember, Bobby Petrino was a head coach for Arkansas back a few years ago. Obviously, a lot of controversy there when he was the head coach for Arkansas, and that would have been an insane upset, one of the most insane upsets to date there if Missouri State could have pulled that off. But in the end, Arkansas woke up in the fourth quarter and got the win by 11. But once again, way closer game than it should have been. They were 3-0 heading into this matchup. Texas A&M, they beat Miami, 13th ranked team in the nation, 17-9. And defensively, Texas A&M is a good football team. I mean, Miami's offense, Tyler Van Dyke, he's a good quarterback, and that's a good offense there with Miami, and Texas A&M was able to shut them down, only allowing 9 points there. But offensively, kind of a different story. The Aggies just have not been very impressive on offense so far this season, which that's the reason why Texas A&M is, they're a team that was widely thought of to be a potential college football playoff contender coming into the season. But, the offense just needs to improve greatly for that to happen. Of course, Haynes King was the starter for the first couple of games. He wasn't impressive, to say the least, and so Max Johnson played against Miami, and he shows promise, the LSU transfer quarterback. So we'll see how he does as he plays in his second straight big matchup here coming up here in Week 4. But yeah, Texas A&M 2-1, took just a brutal loss to App State in Week 2, 17-14, which was obviously a very major upset. Ranking-wise, Arkansas is number 10, Texas A&M is 23. Games be on Saturday, September 24th in Arlington, so it is in a neutral location in AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Kickoff is 6 p.m. Central Time. Spread's going Texas A&M here by 2.5, so the Aggies are favored in this matchup despite being ranked much lower than Arkansas. Over-under is 48. Some more of a defensive game could be expected here. And FPI is going Texas A&M 57.8%. Series history, Arkansas leads at 42-33. Although the Razorbacks did win. They won last year's matchup, but that was the one matchup that they've won against Texas A&M in the past 10 years. As Texas A&M does lead the past 10, 9-1. So in recent history, Texas A&M has had more success, that's for sure, although Arkansas does lead the overall series. Stat comparison for this matchup, Arkansas 37 points per game so far this season. So offensively, Arkansas has been strong. That's what got them the win against South Carolina back a couple of weeks ago. Beat Cincinnati with 31 points. But defensively, this Arkansas team has not been terribly impressive so far. That does need to improve if Arkansas does want to be a potential dark horse contender. 27 points allowed so far this season, which obviously isn't impressive, allowing 27 to Missouri State, allowed 30 to South Carolina, and 24 to Cincinnati. Pass yards a game, 256. Rush yards a game, 243. So a heavier rushing offense here with Arkansas. And for yards allowed, they allowed 352 average pass yards per game, which is pretty terrible. And then 68 rush yards allowed. So rushing defense has been bad, but yardage-wise, they've allowed a lot of pass yards so far this season. As for Texas A&M, 20 points per game, 8 points allowed. So kind of the opposite there. Texas A&M is really strong on defense, not so much on offense. Pass yards a game, 208. Rush yards a game, 105. And then for yards allowed, 147 for passing, 154 for rushing. So especially passing defense has been very strong so far for Texas A&M this season. But in the rushing game, they have allowed a decent amount of yardage. But all around, Texas A&M is a better team defensively. Arkansas is a better team offensively. So kind of an interesting matchup if you consider all of that. Recent matchups for both these teams, your first 3 games, Arkansas beat Missouri State 38-27, beat South Carolina 44-30, and also beat Cincinnati 31-24. So not a bad start to the season for Arkansas. And as for Texas A&M, beat Miami 17-9, lost to App State. Once again, just a very stunning upset, 14-17, but they beat Sam Houston in week 1, 31-0. Some key points for this one: Arkansas 3-0. They had a scare last week, but they've been solid overall. And so, I mean, it's a game of determining whether you think Arkansas's offense is going to win this game, or Texas A&M's defense is going to hold them. Because, I mean, and we could see Texas A&M's offense get completely shut down by Arkansas as well. That's a possibility. But obviously, when Arkansas allowed as many points as they did to Missouri State last week, that is a bit concerning. Offensively, they're well-rounded. They're strong, no doubt. KJ Jefferson is off to a great start in this 2022 season with over 700 yards, 6 touchdowns, and a pick. So over 700 yards through 3 games is pretty good. And, of course, they got Raheem Sanders, who's off to a great start, 440 yards, 3 touchdowns. So offensively, they are strong. Defensively, though, once again, got to be better. And as for Texas A&M, they looked much better last week against Miami. Defensively, they were strong against a good offense there in the Hurricanes. But, I mean, they scored 17, which was enough. But, I mean, you're going to need to score more than 14, 17 points if you want to beat some good football teams. Offense, it could be better. Max Johnson now at quarterback. I think he brings new life to this team, more so than Haynes King. But we'll see how that ages. And defense is definitely where Texas A&M shines. I mean, defensively, Texas A&M could definitely be a national contender, but it's just the offense that is holding this team back right now. I mean, only scoring 14 points against App State is pretty unacceptable, especially being an SEC team, and for that matter, a top-tier SEC team in Texas A&M. So, I mean, offensively, got to be better, and that's what's really going to make the difference here for the Aggies as we move forward in this 2022 season. That said, let's get to the prediction here for Arkansas and Texas A&M coming up here in week 4. I'm going Texas A&M here 24-20, so I do think we see a lower scoring game here. Especially if you're going to be picking Texas A&M in this matchup, you probably should be taking the under, because Texas A&M is not going to score a whole lot of points, I can't imagine. I think 24 is definitely within reach, especially considering Arkansas's defense hasn't been terribly great. But then again, I mean, the Aggies' offense could completely flop in this game, and it could go the other way with Arkansas's defense holding them. But in this situation, Texas A&M, I do feel more comfortable picking the Aggies in this game here. I think Texas A&M's defense also rises up, only allows 20 points from Arkansas in this matchup. I think Arkansas is a team that on offense is extremely strong. I mean, once again, KJ Jefferson, you consider the backfield, Raheem Sanders. They're extremely strong there, but I think Texas A&M's defense is able to hold them in the end. So I'm going to go 55% towards Texas A&M here. Super close matchup, could definitely go either way. It also makes a difference, too, that Texas A&M has had more of a successful history against Arkansas in the past. I mean, if you look at recent history, once again, Texas A&M has won 9 out of the past 10 matchups. Arkansas did win last year, but I do think this year's a different story. Texas A&M gets the win here, but it's certainly going to be close. Over-under is 48. I'll take the under once again. And if you're picking Texas A&M, take the under. If you're picking Arkansas, probably take the over for this matchup, just because Arkansas's offense could end up scoring upwards of 30. And I got Texas A&M covering the spread in the end. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this game, and I appreciate you guys watching as always. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. Catch you on the next one.